to Leadership Podcast. It's yet another edition of the big issue. And of course, we are behind schedule. Without wasting time, we'll go straight to the big issue of the day, which is DSS arrest of Bandits Negotiator, Tukur Mamu, and matters arising. As usual, I'm your regular host, George Agba is the name, and of course, with me here in the studio are in-house analysts. We have Silas Ezeku.
Welcome to the
AGK is here also.
You're welcome.
Well, a former negotiator between the attackers of the Kaduna-Abuja train victims, Tukur Mamu, was on Wednesday arrested by foreign security operatives in Cairo, Egypt. And of course, Mamu's arrest, according to the DSS, the Department of State Security, was because he is a person of interest to the government. Well, the Savage, which described Mamu as a person of interest, said he was arrested on his way to Saudi Arabia and had been flown back to the country. And of course, a statement by the agency spokesman, Dr. Peter Ifunanya, on Wednesday explained that he was arrested by foreign partners and that Mamu had questions to answer on some security matters in parts of the country. And of course, the statement by the DSS reads, the Department of State Services has been inundated with inquiries in respect of the arrest or otherwise of Tukur Mamu, the self-acclaimed Kaduna train hostage negotiator. This is to confirm that Mamu, as a person of interest, was intercepted by Nigerian foreign partners in Cairo, Egypt, on September 6, 2022, while on his way to Saudi Arabia. He has since been returned to the country today, September 7, 2022, and taken into the services custody. Well, following his arrest, the media team of the Abuja-based publisher from his office in Kaduna issued a statement saying that the federal government was contriving Mamu's arrest and deportation because they want to stop him from actually certain kinds of issues that he was involved, and of course they may be frustrating him in the ongoing negotiation. According to the Kaduna office of Desert Herald, they accused the federal government of contriving Mamu's arrest and deportation. They say in its effort to intimidate and harass the publisher of Desert Herald newspaper, Tukur Mamu, the federal government has surreptitiously contrived an arrest him and following his deportation of the publisher as well as members of his family while on their way to the Holy Land. Well, Silas, the whole thing is complicated. Even the statement by his Desert Herald, the paper which is the publisher said, is not even clear. And of course, they appear to be incoherent in what they are even actually accusing the federal government of. We woke up yesterday to the news of Mamu's arrest, and then because that Mamu was one of the, he's the negotiator that was said to have secured some of the release, because the DSS say he's self-acclaimed. But that is a close ally of the Islamic cleric Gumi. He is one prominent person in Nigeria that is not even new to the DSS, because apart from the issues of terrorists and bandits, Mamu had always been a guest at DSS office because on several occasions he had been arrested over some funny reports he was said to have written in the past. But this arrest, person of interest, and at the end of the day, from what we hear, his office is even close to DSS office. For the fact that he was arrested in Cairo, Egypt, is what we don't understand. Deported back. What do we make out of this arrest? Before we come to AGK, who at least we know might have some insight into.
On the surface of it, one need to question the modus operandi of Nigerian security system. Why nationalize a local matter? I know that terrorism is an international affair, but I'm not accusing of terrorism. Just say it's a person of interest because of banditry and negotiating for bandits, release of captives and ransom, and all those things are supposed to be local issues. Whereas the bandits are international bandits. But this is the bandits we're talking about are localized in Nigeria, and they are coming terrified. They know where they are. They can even hear their conversations. Okay, so the reason why they said to internationalize it is what I know. But of late, Nigeria has been waxing stronger abroad. Nigerian security, especially the intelligence agencies. It's not long ago that they picked up Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Where the guy was thinking it was already safe. Was safe and were from the clutches of Nigerian security agencies. And they also went to Benin to go and try to bring in Sunday Boho. Oh yeah, if not because some prominent Yoruba people and try to block it off. But so this one is another a case where the Nigerian security services using the international influence to pick a Nigerian. So what you wonder is why allow this person now travel to his family? So obviously it was not like trying to surreptitiously promote from Nigeria. If he went through the normal process of traveling, they didn't arrest him. I had a commentator saying the army, police, DSS have Tukur as a person of interest, but his office, Digital Herald, is just a few kilometers from the offices of these agencies in Kaduna. Why didn't they go to arrest him there? Why did they even send him an invitation and he rejected? He declined to attend to honor the invitation. Why this drama? Why this drama about it?
Well,
so those are things that people are looking at. Possibly the government wants to flex its muscle and their renewed war against terrorism, banditry, and the onslaught. They are trying to show that they are everywhere. They're in charge. Kind of, they want to show some kind of force. The military bombarding bandits and reducing their power in Nigeria. This person who has been identified with bandits, positive or negative, we don't know for now. They also went for him. But why pick him in Egypt when he was in Nigeria? He couldn't travel from Nigerian, possible Nigeria. Although they were telling us that he didn't go through the Nigerian airport system, that he sneaked into another country. If he didn't do that, Nigerian security forces are represented in Nigeria's international airports, and he must have passed through there. Or are they telling us he went to the fake passport? So why they allow him go up that far before repatriating him? That's what, maybe there's a reason for that, we don't know. But it doesn't look very tight.
Well, thank you, Silas. There is a media report alleging that he was arrested following his involvement in collecting 2 billion naira ransom, taking the said amount to terrorists in exchange of kidnapped victim. According to the report, he was arrested due to over allegations of ransom racketeering. I think you stand a better chance to ask. Is it that the DSS have something different, or they know something that we don't know over his arrest? Because most Nigerians are at a loss over what they describe as a person of interest.
I think this issue has to be looked at in 2 different dimensions. Firstly, there are some gray areas in Mamu's travel and why he was arrested in Egypt. I expected that when the DSS released a statement saying that he was a person of interest, he was picked up in Egypt, Sarah Desert or his paper would have
Desert Herald
would have come up with explanation of how he traveled. That would have cleared that doubt. They would have showed us that he bought his ticket, he went to Abuja or Lagos airport or Kano airport, and he flew from there to Kano. That he was not hiding. But they failed to do it, which means there is a gray area there. Security did not tell us, they did not tell us. Now, when you are a person of interest means you are involved in something that you need clarification for. Then you need to answer some questions. That's just person of interest. Mamu, for the fact that he was a negotiator for the Abuja-Kaduna victims, is already a person of interest. You're dealing with terrorists and you're dealing with civilians. You're a person of interest. There's no argument about that. Person of interest does not mean you're guilty of anything. Yeah. But for now, you are a person of interest. So anything you're doing, security agencies will be observing and be watching you. There were a lot of monies that passed through the negotiation and the release of these people. That's another thing. We are fighting terrorist financing now. Terrorist financing, part of terrorist financing is collecting ransom. And a lot of money, about if it's less than 2 billion, it should be small thing less than 2 billion, was passed through to release these people. So a lot of money has gone to them. Mamu, as a person of interest, personally, in my own opinion, when he was about to travel to Egypt, that's the second angle I was coming to, he would have gone to the security agencies because in August this year, he raised an alarm that they are threatening him with arrest and everything. So he's aware that they are following him. It's not like it happened overnight. No, he's aware. He would have gone to DSS, police, or army, or whoever, and told them that I want to go for this trip. Yeah. And I'm going with my wives. Remember, Sonribo was arrested with his wives too. Maybe wife or wives too. So it's a natural thing. Sunday was running too when he was arrested. So, Mamu, they are claiming that he was going to the Holy Land. How are we sure he was going to the Holy Land? How are we sure he was not trying to leave Nigeria?
And then going to the Holy Land appears to be the type that you carry all your family, your wife.
Yeah, so you can just say you are going there. From there, you enter Dubai or another country and
then disappear.
So, for now, the security agencies, the military and police and DSS, and they felt that no, he has some questions to ask. It's a simple thing. They have collaboration with Interpol and all that. Just to ring them, this person is on red alert in Nigeria. Catch him for us. And as soon as you're put on red alert, anywhere in the world, when they see you, they'll just arrest you. And now, there was a story about allegation that he has connection with terrorists in Dubai, in Egypt, all those things. I don't believe that. Because if he had any, the analysis is that Mamu was investigated in Egypt and discovered to be clean before he was returned to Nigeria. Had Mamu had issues or found to be in connection with any terrorist outside Nigeria, I'm telling you, in Egypt, they would have arrested him and kept him there and continued the case there. Because that's an international terrorist. But now we're talking about anything that happened in Nigeria. So another angle to this is that it reminds me of Ahmed Sakida's case. If you remember Ahmed Sakida well, he started with Boko Haram negotiation and everything. And at a point, government felt that he knew so much about these people. He's a threat. We need to catch him. We need to deal with him. They pushed him to a point where he ran away. Ran to Dubai, and today he has relocated to Dubai. Are we coming to that? This man is also a journalist. Maybe he used his connection as a journalist to grow to a point where he now have links to these people, and he start negotiating, and you're now pushing him to the wall. I just feel that they need to clear some areas. It's not a difficult thing. If he comes back and declares that, okay, look at, I collected this, I submitted to them, and the interest is to release these people, I didn't collect anything, I'm sure he'll be let go. It's not a big deal.
Well, AGK has established a point there that at the end of the day we'll be looking at by the time we come back from this short break. But before we do that, we'll actually implore our viewers to contribute constructively to the conversation on the big issue by their way of comment. And it's expected that by the time we're back, we will see them commenting. Don't go offline, we'll be back in a moment.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Come back to the country.
Welcome back. We are still on the Big Issue in Leadership Podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is the arrest of Desert Herald publisher and, according to the DSS, self-acclaimed negotiator of between the bandits and the federal government on this Kaduna-Abuja rail attack. Well, AGK has said something, Silas. Of course, some of the points he raised are very salient. And he was said that he said in Egypt he had been given a clean bill of health. But you see, an exclusive report is claiming that Mamu collected 2 billion naira ransom and took it to the terrorists. And we don't know whether it was in the process of taking it to them, that because we've been seeing some kind of funny stories about terrorists, and that somebody who was giving a negotiator who was giving money to go and give to bandits ransom has taken off with the money. Now the police and the kidnappers are looking for him. We've heard series of stories like this. So when you begin to see unconfirmed exclusive reports coming with the arrest, you begin to wonder what could actually be the issue. But this ransom racketeering is one allegation. There is another allegation here. There is an allegation that Mamu has relationship with insurgents in Nigeria, and apart from that, he has strong ties with a terror group in Sinai. Is it Sinai? Should it be this Mount Sinai in the Bible? Sinai in Egypt. Yes, according to the report, Sinai Peninsula is the northeastern extremity of Egypt and adjoins Israel and the Gaza Strip on the east. So, like in Nigeria, despite the decrease in the frequency of attacks in recent years, militants have remained active and pose a serious threat to Egyptian security operatives and other symbols of Sinai. So, you see, when you begin to hear things like this, you begin to wonder, because at the end of the day, we cannot even begin to doubt when we've seen allegations worse than this, that people would even say that there are even bandit elements within government. So it becomes something that one should begin to look beyond just the arrest of Mamu. And if you, from according to DSS, they describe him as a self-acclaimed negotiator, not that he was actually a negotiator.
Yes. For now, he's the suspect or a person of interest as the target. You know, and that as government failed that they were going to attack Kuje prison. And you could see that, as he said, these people attacked Kuje prison. And he said, I told government. He mentioned the people he told. So that was embarrassing to government. That, look, we knew about someone had told us, someone close to the bandits had told us about this attack ahead of time, and then it still happened. So it was a kind of some kind of egg in the face of government and the security system. So if they are taking their anger out of him, you can understand that sometimes, you know. So, but the onus on the government to present evidence. Ejike said something very, very important earlier. He said that from the sources he mentioned, he said that the chief had checked him out and found out that they didn't see any terror link with him.
Yes, any trace of
and the insurgents in that
links
area.
with,
Otherwise, they would have
kept him there.
They were kept there because it would have been an international
Yes, especially
terrorist suspect and trying their own laws, you know. But for them to release him, it means that possibly whatever they deal with is a local issue. So for Nigeria now to say, and for Nigeria to be accusing him of this, I'm sure that through international communication, even Egypt will be aware of this report that Nigeria has against Mamu. So as they enter their airspace there, they will be arresting him unless he travel by false passport, which I don't think he is. So it's up to the security agencies as well. But my case is there's something fishy about this man's case. It's possible that he was involved in the cartelling.
Yes, because
while the government has left a lot of spaces for non-state actors to act, people can always abuse it. So if government for several weeks could not rescue the terror attack victims, we thought the patient and have taken it. I'm not saying it did. No, I've taken the opportunity of links to such individuals to say, okay, let me play this intermediary road and possibly benefit from it. Nigeria say workshop, that kind of balance. But let me just land. It's the government to provide evidence of the mass wrongdoing and time according to Nigerian laws. And they should not just dump him somewhere and shut him up, intimidate him. That will not be good for government.
And of course, we'll begin to wonder, because why most times it sounds curious, especially most Nigerians are beginning to wonder. Don't forget, Tukur Mamu is said to be a media consultant to the Islamic cleric Sheikh Umar, who had been asking the federal government to negotiate with terrorists. We would imagine that if Tukur Mamu was actually a negotiator, then Nigerians are saying that the authorities have been accused of not doing enough to secure the release of kidnapped victims whenever such incidents happen. And this development is what has made it necessary for desperate families to devise means, including ransom payments, to liberate their loved ones. If not, they will stay there and be killed. Especially like you always see how these bandits and the kidnappers will threaten. If you can't come, they'll pick one day shoot to let the authorities know that yes, they are serious about it. So now, if we now have somebody like Tukur Mamu who comes in and then try to help the situation, don't the government think that such people should be very useful to them? Because sometimes when you talk of community policing and it has all about using people who are close to certain terrain and certain kind of individuals to do the obedience. So are they arresting him for negotiating, or can we say that maybe this is a negotiation gone wrong? That is it, educate.
The thing is that government has not laid any accusation against him. They just said he's a person of interest that needs to answer some questions.
But at the end of the statement, they say the law will take its course.
Yes.
That is enough.
The law will take its course could mean if you're not guilty of after answering questions and you are found not to be guilty, you can be allowed to go. The law has taken its course. You don't need to go to be prosecuted for that. But what we are saying now is this: Mamu involvement.
Sorry to cut you short. I want to let you know that Mamu too has persistently denied collecting ransom.
That's what I want to say. Involving in negotiation does not mean that he collected ransom.
Okay.
Ransom is a crime in Nigeria. Paying ransom is a crime. But there's no evidence, except if government has evidence that Mamu collected money from terrorists. That's not what he has always maintained, is that he uses goodwill to talk to them and help them to release these people. He has never admitted that he collected money from them. And the good thing is that in the process of this negotiation, they've not killed any Kaduna terrorists, any Abuja-Kaduna victim. If you notice, they've not killed anyone. So it couldn't have been that Mamu collected money and ate the money and they killed somebody. It couldn't have been. But at a point, Mamu too started expressing fear that the federal government is not doing their part of the negotiation. Which means...
Putting him in...
Yes, putting him in the fist.
Mm.
Because, which means if he talks to the terrorists, they'll say, okay, let them do this. You come and talk to the government, do this now, you don't do your part, and you expect them to release. I think what I believe now is that Mamu has reached a point where he cannot get the remaining ones out because government is not playing ball. And he feels that he cannot help again. He wants to remove himself. But he has been endangered because he has been involved. So government is trying to bring him back. You must come and continue where you stop. Because they are returning. It's also giving credit to government and it's making them to be peaceful. If they don't return, these protesters will go around and keep protesting. They have not started Abuja-Kaduna services because of this problem. 3 services. A lot of things are hanging. So Mamu is running away for who to continue. He has already started doing the good job. Let him come and finish the good job. So I don't really see it being a difficult thing. I don't see him being a crime. I just feel that
the federal government feels that
they need him to help them.
They need him to finish.
And
but the same DSS that described him as a self-acclaimed negotiator.
No, of course, any individual is self-acclaimed negotiator because you are not appointed by government to negotiate.
Anyway,
So, there was I said but there was a negotiating team set up, which was a member at the time. I didn't get that report completely. I remember it. I think there was a negotiation team which was set up by government. I was in that team, but I didn't follow the report to know how far that report went. But all the same, we need clarity, openness in this matter. Yeah, the man has done something wrong. They should tell us. We should not just trump up charges, make it look very bad, and then dump it tomorrow. You see, he has something else. See what the man has done. Put it out. Try him according to the law. If you want him to help you, like he's thinking, okay, fine. Why embarrass him internationally? You know, he does the shows of Nigeria. Fine. Why didn't you stop him? Did you even invite him? He refused to come. Did you decline him wanted? So all these things are part of the whole. But Nigeria, anything goes.
And the DSS, to be clear again, DSS is not having anything against it. They say the military and some security agencies complained about him, and that is why they had to use their connection to bring him back. So we are believing that based on that statement, they will hand him over to the military to continue whatever they have with him. So I don't think Mamu is the problem. I'm still saying it. I think it's just small misunderstanding that they will sort out.
Well, let's just hope so, because naturally, in the eyes of the law, an accused is innocent until proven guilty. It's an unfolding event, and of course, we know that in the coming days, we will see either an arraignment that will require the DSS taking Mamu to court. However the case is, we will always keep you averse on what the situation is. Thank you for actually being part of the big issue. And of course, I'll thank our in-house analysts for addressing the big issue the way it should be addressed. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.